million Americans tuned in last weekend to watch the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The breakout star of the ceremony was Episcopal presiding Bishop Michael Curry.
Imagine this tired old world when love is the way, when love is the way, unselfish, sacrificial, redemptive, when love is the way, then no child will go to bed hungry in this world ever again.
Now, the bishop's in Washington, D.C. on a new mission. He's trying to heal the extreme political partisanship that he says is threatening the soul of the nation. He's joining church elders from different denominations as part of a new movement called Reclaiming Jesus. Bishop Curry, it's so nice to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to get to the Reclaiming Jesus movement in a moment. But first, I want to ask about the royal wedding, which I love, by the way. What kind of feedback have you been getting on your sermon? It lasted 14 minutes. Some people complained that was a little long.
Oh, folk were gracious, really. I mean, by and large, people were just fine. But I was a parish priest for a long time, and I used to got quick ratings from congregations usually. It was immediate usually in a congregation. You could tell if they were asleep, it wasn't going anywhere. If they were awake when the sermon was over, it was all right.
Well, we loved it. The letter that you wrote, we are deeply concerned for the soul of our nation, but also for churches and the integrity of our faith. The present crisis calls us to go deeper into our relationship with God, deeper into our relationship with each other, especially across racial, ethnic, and national lines.
Right.
What are you concerned about right now?
I'm concerned that we are profoundly divided and dividing at some very deep levels. That must find a way to be healed so that we can be in dialogue, discussion, and even vigorous, fulsome debate with each other about things we disagree on, but a way to disagree without being disagreeable, a way to engage each other. And the way to do that, this is me, my perspective is the way to do that is I've got to be committed to loving you no matter what, even when I disagree with you. And I can disagree with you and have my perspective, but committed to engaging with you first as a child of God.
You write in this letter about the things you're worried about. You don't mention Donald Trump as one of the issues, although I think anybody could argue that a lot of the divisiveness and discord and tenor that's been part of the dialogue now has come from the White House, or is certainly part of the conversation from the White House. Why not mention the President of the United States?
Because what we were talking about are the values. What are the concerns and what are the values? That to some extent, it's probably too easy just to point at Donald Trump. What's going on, the election, regardless of where you stand on the ledger, the election opened up and exposed deep divisions that have been there a long time. And those divisions, see, there's a difference between differences and divisions. Those divisions are getting deeper and deeper and deeper in our culture. A democracy requires relationship between people so that we can then engage in the public debate and the public work. So we really see a danger to our very democracy in the divisions that are dividing us profoundly. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I didn't say that. Abe Lincoln didn't say that. Jesus said that first. And it's just a basic common sense principle of life.
How optimistic are you that this can be wildly successful, that you're not just going to reach some Christians in some churches, but that you really can move the needle and change what has been a very negative and I think troubling discourse that's happening in America right now and split?
I'm realistic and passionately optimistic. And let me tell you why. Because I really do believe most people, I really do, are dissatisfied with the way we are. I think that's probably true. I don't have any polling data to back that. That's pure gut instinct, because most people are good, decent people and just want to live and do the right thing. I think this kind of approach can help us find the way. Sometimes we just need tools to help us to do it. Remember Dr. King once said, we will either learn to live together as brothers and sisters or we will perish together as fools. The choice is ours, chaos or community. It's that clear. And I think most people really want to find a way to live in community.
Bishop Curry, it's so nice to have you. Thank you for being with us.
You're wonderful. Thank you.